What do you think? Because the paper and the internet is a training. That's not a training at all.
Are you practice taking off stuff?
So
and put it on the internet?
right, so here's our demand, and this is a demand now, because we've been working for 2 months, we've got not what we need for 2 months. There's press out there that's saying we've been getting what we need. Today, we have a deadline. Today, we want to meet with somebody, or the people who are in charge of this program. We have people who are very willing to meet with them, who have experience, who can say what it is we need and what we don't have. And we want that, or we're going to go past this hospital. We have not yet done that.
I don't have the authority to commit to that meeting, but I certainly will convey it. And this afternoon, I'm supposed to meet with people who do have authority to commit to
Who are the
that.
people you're gonna meet with?
There are several people that are involved in
We
it,
still don't know
but
what.
principally, the people that are relied on primarily for infection control and supposedly the experts are Dr. Curry, Dr. Ostrowski, and Audrey Adams, and there's a couple of other doctors. There's a pediatric physician also who's an expert in
And
that.
the nurses not included.
And,
Okay, so you have our information, we wait
Yeah, I
to hear
can
from you. I
convey
would
it.
think by 4 o'clock we'll have an answer,
Well, I'll certainly be out of the meeting by 4, so there's.
or whenever, as soon as you're
Well,
out of
how
the
about
meeting.
if I can commit to this? That whatever the response is or the conclusion is of that meeting, I will let you know.
And that will be at what time, do you think?
Well, the meeting was supposed to be this afternoon, I think, 2 o'clock.
But therein lies the problem. This is a life and
I'll
death
be
issue,
done.
and you have a meeting in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It should have been at 7 o'clock this
In the
morning.
morning.
An hour
We've
early.
We've had
This
meetings
is a
every
standing
day.
meeting.
Look, we've had meetings every day, and there's a dichotomy to be drawn here. One is talking and planning, and the other is doing. I can tell you for a fact, when I call people and I know they're scrambling to do, albeit not enough, it's not enough because the threat is bigger than the response. Not just here, the threat is bigger than the response all over. I'm also in touch with other hospitals. And the threat being bigger doesn't mean that the meetings, this is the first meeting, they're going on, but what's actions, what's required, and that's what a lot of people are scrambling with.
But wait, and there's also truth.
And the
There's
nurses
also-
are not
The
involved
first
in
time
that.
Dr.
And
Ostrowski,
the nurses at those meetings.
there have been
Yeah, there's
management
nobody there.
involved
There's no
in these
nurses.
meetings.
Where are the nurses?
There
Where the
are the
nurses?
frontline nurses who are gonna be donning and coming.
Right.
You know what, in that whole meeting yesterday, there was nothing, I saw maybe 5, and maybe 500 people there.
Yeah.
They need to be included, that's a major
You
demand.
know, Nurse Fitzgerald,
So-
you raised up.
The first time Dr. Ostrowski saw how the triage process was done was on Monday when we dragged her out there to show her the risk. She had no idea how triage is completed, the exposure that happens to the registration personnel through the hole in the glass, or the greeter nurse. She had never even seen it, so how could she have been planning for it and protecting us if she had never witnessed the triage
That's
process?
why there's no.
So we had valuable input by taking her out there. We were able to say, here's an exposure, here's a risk.
She was
something-
receptive to that, and
Well, she cried at one point.
She cried?
And you know what?
She cried?
She cried because she was insulting and condescending to us,
Well, let them have it.
and stuff like, yeah, but.
well, you know, antagonism doesn't help.
No, it wasn't antagonistic. She was condescending to us and said, go take care of your patients or don't
Oh,
your
is that who
patients.
told you that?
Yeah, she told us. And then
She was the one.
and our charge nurse said, you can't talk to my high performers that way.
I
And
went
she
to
got
her
upset.
and said, I have questions. I want to know, you're treating your doctor.
You're gonna insult the people that work for you?
You're telling us that maybe we'll get mass.
Insult?
You haven't included us in helping pick the equipment, and helping try it on to identify the problem.
So let me just say something.
Turn it around, anybody can triage.
This is not
the doctors out there first.
Here's what we know.
Anybody can
Bellevue
triage.
Hospital, and it's our shame, to our shame, Bellevue Hospital has had on training with dummies, with moving, with everything. They have a unit set up. They have all this stuff has been done. There's a hospital, it's a city hospital with a much lower budget, you know, than Montefiore, and they have done this work. They are ready. They feel ready. Their ER is ready. They have
They
a system in
failed.
place,
They failed. They failed the on-site.
and they still,
And they
Bellevue
still
also
failed.
failed.
They were prepared.
And they
And
felt
they
they
were
were prepared. So, what does that say about us?
What more for
What does that say
That's
about
pretty
us?
alarming, that they just failed, and they did the most.
Well, I'm not there, I don't know exactly.
I don't either.
But I know they probably followed the CDC guidelines, at least they did that. And
But they're
now-
changing, and they're constantly changing.
That's the record. They don't know what they're
It's
doing.
like, it's like saying to people, people, it's like saying people are starving. Well, I don't have a 7-course dinner, so I'll give you nothing. We'll take a 3-course dinner, we'll take a 5-course dinner, we'll take breakfast, we'll take lunch, we'll take something, we have nothing. Bellevue had something, and still Bellevue, couldn't pass the
It's not adequate.
test. So what we have is that's and, it's just like, so people at least have given it an effort. LIJ, I think, has something.
It doesn't help to disagree because there's a mutual, there's a reciprocal. My sense is that reassurance is difficult because you consider management's word bankrupt. And management similarly distrusts the union's word, not the nurses, but the union. And because I know that's your viewpoint.
Is that your viewpoint? Who's the union? Who's the union? Who is the union? We are.
I know that's your viewpoint. You've made it clear to me. And the group echoes that. But when we speak to people, the union speaks with an institutional voice also. And that barrier is one of the things we got to try and bridge.
Well, all I can.
The barrier is if you don't believe what I say and I don't believe what you say, that's a barrier.
I'm sorry, there's somebody
You can't reassure people.
somebody's trying to say something over here.
All it does is heighten anxiety.
Keep it focused, it's not a nurse issue, it's a human issue.
It's a
And
human
let's just come to an
That's it.
agreement, we're gonna take care of this today and have our answer today. And that's it,
That's it.
there's no more, it's not about nurses anymore.
Yeah, it's not discussed.
It's not about words.
Do we have, well, we
I will convey
will
your
accept a
request.
response. We will accept a response. We would like to know that you're willing to fulfill the demands that we have about what we think we need from our best knowledge, and that can be updated. It's in the demands. As things get updated, it gets improved. We're absolutely willing to see improvement. We have a minimum standard that was developed a few days ago. If the standards are higher, we want the higher standards. But we want agreement to our standards, and then we want to see immediate action for training to go on when people are not at work.
Right, you made that demand and that's been conveyed. What I understand that you want today is an answer as to someone in authority who can make the call to describe what's being done. Is that what it is? What is it, what is the meaning you're asking for today?
What we're
Maybe you
asking
can
for is
elaborate.
2 things. We want to respond to our demands in the affirmative. That's what we want today.
Yeah, that's
Second.
not gonna happen, I can tell you. It's just, they're very complicated. They allow, look, for one, they allow strikes, they allow all kinds of things. Refusals. Just, if it's the same demand, voluntary, you can refuse to treat
If they
patients,
feel that they're
that's a
not
strike.
being protected, if they feel that they're not being protected, that is
We
not
have
a
the
strike.
right.
Subjectively.
If I've been trained, hold on, if I've been trained and I know how to use the PPE and the PPE is good in my unit and I have the support that I need and I have the person abutting with me and you're following all the guidelines, I'm not gonna refuse. But if she's given that same assignment and doesn't have that training, she absolutely has a right to. That's what it says. It says if the person feels they're not being protected. That's the right to refusal, not because I don't feel like it. It's because I feel that my life is in danger. That is not a strike. What is the other thing that you
That's
think can't be done?
that's a useful interpretation of it.
It says
to
it,
know.
it says.
I know what it says, but your interpretation
Our
elaborates
shall be,
upon
ours
it.
will be given the right of refusal if they believe they're not adequately protected, inadequate facilities,
Judy,
PPE. I think that's pretty
let me
clear.
be clear with you, and with everybody. We're not gonna be able to agree to that today or disagree with it today. There are a lot of things in motion. If that's your deadline, what'll have to happen is you'll act accordingly, whatever you think's appropriate to defend your members and patients in the public.
Right.
But I can tell you, it would be me deceiving you to say you're gonna get a definitive answer to all that today. What I can convey is,
Patient better not walk in tonight.
what I can convey is,
All I say.
people wanna know more concretely all that's being done. It's not gonna be enough until this is completely conquered, but I will convey